Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, a backlog of tests in Kern County. Almost half of the pending coronavirus tests in the state are for local residents. We'll break down the numbers this morning.
People frustrated with the economic standstill shirk stay-at-home orders to protest across the country. Your chance to weigh in this morning.
And lawmakers appear to close on a deal for another stimulus package. We'll tell you who it's expected to help on this Monday, April 20th, 2020.
Good morning. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen coming to you from Tehachapi here in my home once again. Alex is back in studio this week after he learned all of the ins and outs of working from home last week. Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. It is good to be back in studio. Of course, we are still practicing social distancing and only leaving for essential purposes. But it was a beautiful weekend across Kern County. Let's turn things over to Kevin Charette on this Monday, who has a look at your forecast. And Kev, I was really able to enjoy the weather yesterday, able to kind of sit on the back patio. Even a nice breeze kind of passed through.
Yeah, I've been eating out on the back patio for the last several days. It's been so beautiful, and yesterday was no exception. We are seeing the wildflowers blooming around Kern County. It's just a beautiful sight to see. In fact, yesterday temperatures were in the 70s, so it was right on track with where we should be this time of year. We hit 74 degrees on the high for your Sunday. Normally, 76 is the high this time of year. Our record temperature, 98, and that was set back in 1910, so we're a little off from that. As we take a look at the skies, not much to show you. We're mostly clear right now. We are tracking a system, though, that is north and west of us that could bring in some clouds today and even a slight chance of a shower. We'll be tracking that throughout the day. 54 degrees to start off our morning. We have a northwest wind at 8 miles per hour. Here's a look at the hour by hour, and we will be looking at mid-50s to start. 65 at noon, and by 3 o'clock, we'll be right near 68. For Tehachapi, 48 degrees right now with a west-northwest wind at 10. Visibility good. And as we take a look at the watches and warnings, it is going to be a breezy afternoon. We have a wind advisory until Tuesday at 10 a.m. Affecting 96,000 people between the mountain and the desert locations. As we take a look at the temperatures for today, starting out in the 40s, and then this afternoon, we'll be looking at some 50s. Once this exits, we're looking at another warm-up. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Back over to you.
All right, Kev. Thanks so much. Your time now is 5:02, and this morning we expect to see new numbers from public health on the coronavirus crisis in Kern County. Now, here are the numbers from over the weekend. Kern County now has 633 confirmed cases of COVID-19. The latest update shows 22 people are in the hospital. That's 5.5% of all active cases. Meantime, 234 people have recovered from the virus, according to public health officials. That's 36% or 37% of the total cases. Now, here's a look at the curve, and with the latest on the new daily cases. Remember, although it looks like the trend is downward, it is still too early to tell. There are thousands of tests still pending, and positive cases could still go in the area shaded in red. Now, here's a look at all the pending tests in Kern County. More than 4,500 people have tested negative, but more than 3,400 are still waiting for their results this morning. For the first time since April 5th, we did see a decline in pending tests, although it was down only 6 cases from the day before. But alarming new numbers show how our backlog compares to the rest of the state. Here's how our numbers compare to the rest of California. 48% of all pending tests for the state are from Kern County.
Here's a look at the numbers outside Kern County. Across California, there are nearly 29,000 confirmed cases. More than 1,000 people have died. In the U.S., the number of confirmed cases has jumped to more than 770,000. More than 41,000 have died, and nearly 71,000 have recovered. Across the world, the number has topped 2.4 million, with more than 165,000 deaths.
So a big question going around right now is, when should states reopen? There's a lot of disagreement about that. Several cities across the U.S. held protests this weekend, calling for an end to stay-at-home orders. Many protesters defied social distancing restrictions, gathering in large groups without wearing any protective gear. They say the restrictions have crippled the economy and everyone needs to be able to get back to work. Some health officials and governors, including Governor Newsom, says a lot more testing is needed before restrictions are eased. And that is the subject of this morning's interactive feedback poll. We want to know, should police enforce social distancing measures? You can call or text us at 661-888-4617. Press 1 if you think they should, 2 if not. You can also tweet, text, or email your comments to us. And once again, our interactive feedback phone line is 661-888-4617. We'll air some of your comments and have a look at the results coming up at 5:30.
Happening today, the Kern County Fair Board will meet via Zoom to discuss whether the 2020 Kern County Fair will move on as planned or if it will have to be rescheduled or perhaps even canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic. Already, annual fairs in San Diego, San Bernardino, and San Mateo counties have been canceled. Here in Kern County, officials are weighing their options. The Fair Board will review and discuss whether fair and livestock exhibits could continue. If COVID-19 restrictions were put in place, they'll discuss the possibility of an online auction for livestock exhibitors.
Kern County is working to provide essential workers more financial support while they combat the coronavirus pandemic. Tomorrow, the Board of Supervisors will consider approving a resolution that will provide essential workers with additional sick leave, child care reimbursement, technology stipends, and paid time off reward. The estimated cost for these expanded benefits is nearly $600,000.
Kern County's homeless shelter is closer to opening as workers put the final touches on the building. The county's chief administrative officer, Ryan Alsop, tweeted a photo of the new shelter as work continued on the site Friday. Alsop said staff will move in this week at the new Kern County Navigation Center on M Street near Golden State Avenue.
This weekend, protesters in McFarland held a car caravan demonstration against the proposal to open a geo-immigration detention facility. The group is called Geo out of McFarland. They say they're standing up against ICE and Geo Group Incorporated after the proposed opening of 2 new detention centers in McFarland. In late February, the McFarland Planning Commission ruled against Geo Group's plan. Now the company has filed an appeal, which will be heard this week. Organizers say they hope the decision is pushed back, especially at a time when people can't congregate or gather in large groups.
The community wants this vote to be pushed back until people can safely gather in large groups. We shouldn't necessarily put corporate interest over what the community needs.
On Thursday, the McFarland City Council will listen to public testimony and possibly take action on Geo's appeal. A Geo spokesperson had issued a statement responding to yesterday's protest saying, quote, "These unfounded allegations are meant to create panic in the community without any basis in fact. Geo has operated ICE processing centers in Bakersfield and Delano for several years, and neither community has experienced any increases in community has experienced any increases in enforcement activities in our company plays no role. Keeping the Golden State and Central Valley facilities open will help save more than 300 high-paying jobs and millions of dollars in much-needed tax revenue for the McFarland community at a time when communities across the country face unprecedented health and economic crisis."
The time now is 5:08, and the Bakersfield Police Department can have a new chief as early as this week. The Police Commission sent the names of 3 finalists to City Manager Christian Clegg last week. They are Lieutenant Brent Stratton, Assistant Chief Greg Terry, who has served as interim chief since late November, and Captain Jason Matson. The final decision is up to Clegg, who's been on the job since February. Officials say Clegg conducted interviews with the 3 last week, but a decision isn't expected until this week at the earliest.
All right, well, still to come this morning on Sunrise, the local senior living center thinks outside the box for a way to let their residents connect with family.
Still ahead.
Welcome back. It is 5:18 now, and Adventist Health Bakersfield is helping kids with vaccinations by offering free shots this month. Today, there will be a mobile immunization clinic available from 9 a.m. until 11:30 this morning and noon to 2 p.m. this afternoon at the Adventist Health Bakersfield parking lot on Chester Avenue. You don't need an appointment, but you do need to bring your child's immunization card. Kids under 5 will be given priority. If you can't make it today, there are several other clinics happening later this month, and we've posted the details on our website, kget.com.
The time now is 5:18, and going weeks without seeing a loved one may be getting tougher by the day. But when it comes to one local assisted living facility, they're thinking outside the box. 17's Vanessa Dillon shows us how the Palms at San Loren is bringing families together safely.
How are you, Mom?
Hi. Despite being apart from family, Jean Lester still knows how to be the life of the party.
You don't have any kids?
No.
Oh. Boy, are you missing out.
Armed with clever jokes and a transparent barrier, Jean finally got the chance to spend time with loved ones on Saturday.
I always like to see them up close. It makes me feel good.
Jean is just one among several other residents at the Palms at San Loren who don't have to wait for the pandemic to end in order to see family.
We have implemented this in our community, and it is a plexiglass cube so that our residents could come closer to our families.
The new plexiglass cube is a game changer for most. Access to regular face-to-face conversations. It's as if they never even skipped a beat.
What do I want to say to them now?
Yeah.
Just behave yourself. Make me proud of you.
Families like Jean's can now check in on loved ones, and in Jean's case, they can clearly see she still has that same spunk and wit.
I love you all, and the rest of them. I've got a lot of kids.
Because family is everything, especially for Jean.
It's fun having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't like what they say, just act like you don't hear them. If you want to hear them, say something.
And the assisted living facility is making sure unity and safety remain their top priorities.
I'm overjoyed. I'm overjoyed right now because this is something that I get to do every day with my children, and they don't. So for me to see them be able to be closer to their families, it just excites me. I'm super excited.
That was Vanessa Dillon reporting. So cool to see that happening. It would be great if more assisted living facilities could get something like that. Jean's family was the first to give the plexiglass cube a try on Saturday. Hour-long appointments can be made ahead of time by families. Gary says the cube is thoroughly sanitized after each appointment. Pretty cool.
I think Jean is making a lot of people laugh this morning. Well, happening later today, the MLK Community Initiative and other local leaders are hosting a free food distribution, except it will look just a little different this time around. Organizers normally host the distribution every month at Bell Terrace Park, but in light of the coronavirus outbreak, organizers will set up a drive-through for those hoping to pick up food. You'll be asked to stay in your car, and a volunteer will bring a box of food to you. It's happening today from 9 a.m. until 11. Just head to 1116 East California Avenue. The line will begin at Gage and Chico Streets. And Daisy Supportive Living Services is doing a food drive to help seniors this week. It's happening tomorrow at 164 H Street. You can bring non-perishable food and other necessary supplies from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. All right, well, still to come this morning on Sunrise, a new survey shows many Americans are cutting back on spending during the coronavirus crisis. But experts found a surprise when it comes to people investing their money. Why they say there may not be much need to worry.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Second only to what the coronavirus can do to our physical and mental health is the worry about what harm all this is doing to our financial health. But on that count, there may not be much need to worry. Here's NBC's Chris Clackham.
With so many businesses closed because of COVID-19, consumer spending has taken a nosedive.
Even people that are still working and in a position to spend are reluctant to do so, simply because they just really don't know what's around the corner.
Greg McBride at Bankrate says they surveyed 2,500 Americans about spending and investing during the crisis and found over half dialing back on spending, but surprisingly staying the course on investing.
Despite a 30% drop in the stock market, about 2/3 of those that have investment accounts did not do anything with their stock-based investments.
Many still worry, however, what all this economic upheaval is doing to their credit rating. No need for that, though, according to Rod Griffin at Experian.
You don't have to worry about unemployment affecting your credit history or credit scores.
He says that's because the credit bureaus have launched crisis response plans to let lenders know your situation.
Especially if you're going through job loss or income reduction, to show that you're affected by COVID ID and that they're in forbearance or in deferment.
Protecting your credit during a crisis, just in case you need more of it. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Meantime, the pandemic is leading to lower prices at the gas pump. AAA reports the average price for a gallon of self-serve regular is nearly $1.82. That's down about 5 cents from last week and just over $1 less than it was this time last year. In some states, including Colorado, Kentucky, Mississippi, New York, and Ohio, gas prices are under $1 per gallon. Analysts say the cost of crude hasn't been this low since 2002, and they predict the cost of gas will keep dropping. Pizza Hut is launching a contactless curbside service to help keep employees and customers safe during the coronavirus pandemic. The new pickup option includes new pizza box safety seals so the customer knows they are the first person to touch their food. The brand will also be implementing pre-shift temperature checks for employees, installing counter shields, and distributing nearly 13 million non-surgical grade masks for all staff members at all restaurants across the country. Well, coming up the next half hour on Sunrise, the government is working on a plan to fund more loans for small businesses. This as many states work to ease social distancing guidelines.